Excitement is heating up and has been quite literally for the 2016 Rio Olympics. The Olympic torch passed through several towns on its way to its ultimate destination, Rio de Janeiro, as the clock ticks to the opening ceremony, which you can catch Friday night on NBC at 7:30 Eastern. Women's individual competition at the Games of the 31st Olympiad starts 2 weeks from today on Wednesday, August 17th. Here are the three women representing the U.S. in Rio, headlined by Lexi Thompson. It's joined by Stacy Lewis and Jarena Pillar as part of this 72-hole individual stroke play competition. For the men, 3 of the 4 are in Connecticut this week. Bubba Watson, Patrick Reed, and Matt Kuchar, while Ricky Fowler is making his way down to Rio to be a part of the opening ceremony on Friday night. Matt Ems has more on Kuch, the last guy to get a spot on the U.S. team.
George, thank you. As golf is back in the Olympic Games now for the first time in over a century, many of the players were unsure if they would make the team or not. Matt Kuchar didn't expect that he would be a part of Team USA. He is now, and as he told us in the press room, he had to wait it out.
I'm very good about taking things a week at a time, day at a time. I'm really excited to be here at Travelers. This is an event that I'd love to put my name on a list of champions. I think it's a great golf course. I've got a lot of family ties to the area, so I'm very focused here and really like to play well here. But certainly my excitement is building for next week for sure. I got all my gear last night. That's always a really cool process. Getting the gear, it just becomes very real.
With other golfers bypassing the Olympics for various reasons, did that thought go through your head at all, or it was just
I had my fingers crossed that some golfers would bypass the Olympics, to be honest. Fingers crossed that some would decide to do that.
Did you consider?
Oh no, I had fingers crossed that they would, so that I'd have a chance to accept. Yes.
Fingers crossed, and he got into the Olympics, but the task at hand this week is the Travelers Championship here at TPC River Highlands tomorrow at 1:25 p.m. Eastern Time. Matt Kuchar will be teeing off alongside of 2 of his fellow Olympians in Bubba Watson and Patrick Reed. George?
Back in 2009, the International Olympic Committee voted golf back in the Olympic Games for the first time since 1904. Then the real work began, building a course in Rio suitable to host golf's return to the Olympics. Course architect Gil Hans embarked on the most important project of his career, and Golf Channel was provided exclusive access as 8 of the finest golf course architects in the world presented their vision to the International Golf Federation and Rio 2016 Organizing Committee back in January of 2012.
Well, obviously, we're honored to be here today and to be selected among the finalists.
On behalf of myself and Lorena and Defonier and all the other consortium members that have been involved with this presentation,
we are very happy to be here to serve the Rio 2016 committee.
A far cry from the country's beautiful beaches and vistas. In the early days of 2012, perhaps the biggest moments in the history of Brazilian golf played out in a conference room, with 8 of the world's greatest golf architects, all convening in Rio to present their design bids for the course of the 2016 Olympic Games.
the responsibility that the designer has goes way beyond just designing the golf course. We have to do it because we love the game.
To have the biggest names in our sport, Jet Nicklaus and Annika Sorenstam team up, or Greg Norman and Lorena Choa team up, they wanted to be a part of this story.
One thing that I might mention here is that over 40% of the area that we have on this golf course is preserved. They ask for, we do it environmentally, how we make it sustainable, how can we do it cost efficiently, how can we do it naturally. All the things that they wanted, we addressed in there, and I think we tried to bring those points home.
You can play it short here, and like Jack mentioned, you can come and roll the ball from the right-hand side. I just think that, together, we can really build something special here.
After all, golf is outdoor chess. It's not just how well you strike the ball, it's how well you think. From the time we were here in early December till now, we have worked 24/7 and done many iterations and refined it to what I think will be a unique venue for golf.
The reason why we are here for 2 days is to go through the interviews and the presentations for each participant. We're in phase 3 of the Olympic golf course RFP.
Each of the 8 groups were allowed 45 minutes to submit their presentations, followed by a round of questions from members of the International Golf Federation and Rio 2016 Organizing Committee.
And how do you consider that the possibility to incorporate the view of the lagoon and the sea into your landscape design?
The grass species that you're recommending for the course, would you like to say a few words about that?
There's been a lot of discussion about Paspal, and there's been a lot of discussion about Bermuda. I think
all afternoon long, the biggest names in golf and golf course architecture took their turns. Jack Nicklaus, with over 290 courses around the world to his credit. Robert Trent Jones II, with 250 courses of his own. And Greg Norman, who could boast over 100 courses that carry his name. There were also a few smaller, less heralded teams that made an impression.
There's no way to do a market study for this project, and no way to understand how it's going to be used in the future. We think the more flexibility you have, the more chance you'll have to get it right.
I consider myself somebody who does special, one-of-a-kind projects. The Olympics is a really special, one-of-a-kind project.
You know, everyone that has been selected, all 8 finalists, are capable of designing a great golf course. What we want to show today is sort of what makes us different. We want to get to know us.
I grew up in Los Angeles and first learned to play golf by putting into soup cans. The whole idea of the Olympics was fascinating to me, and to work on a new golf course that could deliver things to Brazil that maybe it hadn't seen before.
Yes, we'll check the boxes. We've done these plans. We've fulfilled all the requirements, but we also want you to get a sense of who we are and what we think is important when it comes to golf course architecture. You sort of start to handicap, okay, you know, from a design standpoint, can we hold our own with these 8 groups? And I felt like we could. And then you start thinking, all right, politically, are we as connected? Do we have as big a presence? No. So then it becomes, all right, we need to really work our butts off to come up with something good. I don't see how a golf course can be designed from a different continent or on a computer or in an office. If we are selected to do this golf course and be the designers, I will move to Rio for the period of construction.
No matter how many major titles they'd won or how many famous courses they'd designed, every presenter appeared well aware of the magnitude of the moment.
We've enjoyed this opportunity. It's a great opportunity. As I said, we've spent more time on this than anything that I've been involved with in a long, long time. We want to do this golf course. Ultimately, the gold medal is going to be the biggest prize in golf.
The Olympic Games, that's the ultimate, and this would be just such an honor.
So as you look out to 2020, 2024, and 2028, and let's just assume golf's in there, whoever gets this design job has got to carry that torch.
Gilhan's golf design ultimately earned the right to build the Rio Olympic golf course. Coming up on Golf Central, it will take you hole by hole through the first golf course to host an Olympic golf event since 1904. The 2016 Olympics officially kick off this week as Brazil becomes the center of the sports world. Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time, will be the U.S. flag bearer at the opening ceremony, which can be seen Friday night at 7:30 Eastern on NBC. When we return, we've been talking about the Americans outside the bubble, the top 8 for Automatic Ryder Cup qualifying the past couple days. Let's flip the script and see which Europeans outside the top 9 has the edge to play his way into Hazeltine. You're watching Golf Central.